Referring to the recent developments and agreements between Putin and Poroshenko during the last ASEM meeting in Milan, what's your opinion about the evolution of the conflict between Russia and Ukraine?
We obviously are now at some kind of an interregnum, but I think it is very fragile and very difficult to see where it is going. It reflects the fact that President Poroshenko now understands that his hand is even weaker than he thought before the NATO summit, because he has realized, as Putin does, that behind economic sanctions, the West will not do anything more for Ukraine. And so he is playing a weak hand very carefully and I think very well. President Putin, for his part, knows that if he were to resume the offensive that he started a few weeks ago towards the Sea of Azov, that this would pose very considerable risks for the Russian military and for Russian interests, because this is not a part of Ukraine that in any way will support a Russian advance. And he would prefer not to do this. So he is using the cards he has to achieve aims he's had over a long period of time, which is to undermine Ukraine and create a kind of solution that will make the rest of the country, put the rest of the country in a state of dependency and instability.
And what do you think about the future relations between Russia and EU?
When Angela Merkel used her influence to persuade first the powerful economic interests in Germany, but then other countries in Europe to agree to phase 3 sanctions, this was a game changer for Russia. Russia was not expecting this. But at the same time, the Russians correctly understood that apart from sanctions, there would be no additional steps taken to help Ukraine. And it was on this basis they felt it would be safe to launch the offensive which they launched a few weeks ago. And that was a bigger game changer. That, in my view, has made the EU panic. And that explains why, of late, senior EU officials have even been willing to publicly entertain substantive changes to the Ukraine-EU Association Agreement, which were completely ruled out up until now. So the situation is, I think, very fluid, and the EU, which has always had difficulty thinking geopolitically, now even is less strategically minded than it was before. And it's so very hard to see how this relationship will develop.